want you guys to put your hands together for our friend, Adam Rostad, who's going to be telling a story called Word Magic.
One thing they've taught me in the world of performance is to never follow the handsome crying guy. So now I've got to do that. How many people here grew up in church or are currently church people? And I don't mean just like Christmas and Easter. I mean, you were there every Sunday helping set up, all that good shit, right? Yeah, I guess clap for yourselves. Amen, yeah. I have you beat. I was a pastor's kid, a pastor's grandkid. Aunts and uncles were pastors. I lived and breathed church. I went to a private Christian school from kindergarten through senior year of high school. I did it all. So I'm here to talk to you about, what did I call my story? Word magic or magic words? I don't fucking know. I'm here to talk to you about the power and the magic of words. I bring up church because when you grow up in church, you learn a lot about how words and the tongue have this power, right? In James, it talks about how the tongue is a great fire that can burn down villages, basically. And then in the next sentence, it says, and also the tongue will burn in hell. So that's interesting. In the beginning of the Bible, it talks about how God spoke things into existence. He spoke the world into existence, animals, trees, air, all that stuff that we take for granted. And then there's another part in the Bible where it talks about the overflow out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. I want to talk about two things. First, can you imagine having that power, that your words could manifest actual things into existence? If you had that power, what are the things that you would think twice about saying? I would think twice about saying this in front of certain people. Oh, well, fuck me. There are certain things we just wouldn't say anymore. I asked my sister what she wouldn't say, and she told me, I wouldn't say, I'm going to stab myself in the face. Apparently, that's a thing she says when she's frustrated. I don't know. There's a lot of things I wouldn't say. So I'm talking about the overflow of the heart, and the mouth speaks from that. I think generally I have a pretty decent heart. I think I'm a pretty good guy. Generally, my heart isn't evil. But if you put me behind the wheel of a car, and I think a lot of you could probably relate to this. When you're driving behind someone stupid, when I'm driving behind someone stupid, my heart is the most vile and villainous scum that you will ever find. Like, it is horrible.
It's true.
That's my wife saying it's true. I fear for the day that I have children, my own offspring in the back, and I am just like releasing this vile scum. So I'm going to tell you a story about the power of words. And it's not a great moment in my life. It's one of those moments where I was driving and my heart was villainous and vile and evil. And out of the overflow of that heart, my mouth spoke. I want to tell you about Matthew. Matthew's 10 years old. He is an accomplished pianist at 10 years old. Has won awards. He's played to big crowds. He's an accomplished swimmer, a competitive swimmer. He's top of his class, whatever that means when you're 10, because it really doesn't mean much. But Matthew was a good kid. I was driving in my car 4 or 5 years ago. And I was driving down University Avenue here, right in front of, you know where that Dairy Queen is, right by like Shorewood and like Subway? Right there where Trixie, is it Trixie's Liquor that used to be there? Or the party, whatever? I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Right at that intersection, which is not a great intersection at rush hour if you're trying to cross the street. So I'm driving and I've got this silver Honda in front of me. We've got a green light. And there's this group of kids on their bikes heading towards the Shorewood pool. And they're all being dumb little shitheads. And they're like playing chicken with like the traffic that has the green light. So they're like, oh, are we gonna go? And this one kid comes out like all the way. And this silver Honda in front of me has to slam on her brakes. And she honks. And this kid, I will never forget, screams at this poor woman in this car. And he says, fuck! He's 10, so it's more like, fuck you, cunt! And I hate that word anyway, but to hear a child say it to somebody completely undeserving, I was livid. And I don't know. I don't know that this is so much the evil of my heart and the vileness of my heart. It is. But I rolled down my window and said, I hope you get hit by a car. This is a story that doesn't paint me in a great light, and I'll accept that. So at the time, I was working as a job coach for adults with disabilities. And so I got off pretty early during the day, and so I'd sometimes stop at a coffee shop or a bar and grab a beer, grab a drink, and read the paper. I will never forget 2 weeks later, sitting down in a coffee shop and looking at the front page of the Wisconsin State Journal, and seeing Matthew's picture on the front page, and seeing the headline, boy, 10 years old, hit by a car on University Avenue at this intersection. And reading further and finding out that Matthew was this accomplished pianist, and he was this accomplished swimmer, and he was head of his class. And I'll never forget when I read that he died. I've only told this story twice from a stage. This is my third time. I'm reluctant to share this story because Matthew's parents were established in Madison. Matthew's dad, at the time, was a professor at UW. His mom had a good job here in Madison as well. For all I know, Matthew's parents are here. They've been other places where I've shared this story. I am terrified to share this story because while I know that I didn't kill Matthew, I know that my words did not manifest his death. I know that words don't actually have this weird magic power to create things out of nothing. I can't help but feeling that I should shoulder some of the blame for the evil that my heart has and the overflow that my mouth spoke. It sucks. He didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve me to yell that at him, no matter what he did. And it sucks. So now I'm supposed to end this in a joking, happy way. So I'm going to tell you about another time that, that words had magic. That words manifested something in my life. I was driving with my wife recently, and this song came on the radio. I don't think I'm ever more goofy than I am when I'm driving in the car with my wife. And this song came on the radio, and it was a John Cougar Mellencamp song. It was some ditty about Jack and Diane, and and you know, it's so during one of those like instrumental parts, like I'm jamming out to this song, right? And we're driving, we're in the country kinda, and I look over to her and go, "On your knees, boy." And she looked at me and she's like, What? Why did you say that? I was like, "It's in the song." And she's like, "Is it?" And I said, "Yeah. I mean, if it's something like that, if it's not "On Your Knees, Boy," it's the same rhythm and kind of sounds like that." And she's like, I I don't think it is. And I was like, no, it is. It is. And then, like, you know, I'm not somebody who, if I know I'm right, I wouldn't let it go. I'd be like, we need to prove you wrong. My wife is not that. She's like, okay, that's fine. We'll keep driving. So we're driving, and then John Cougar Mellencamp comes off, and the song's not playing anymore. The next song that comes on is a song by the band U2, a song that came out in 1991, a little song called Mysterious Ways, which does have the lyric, on your knees, boy, during an instrumental part. And I looked at my wife when that happened, and I went, I have done this! I have manifested this moment out of nothing! I am magic! Don't you dare cross me, because I will speak songs into existence. Honestly, guys, even telling this now, I feel amazing. I feel the tingles running through my face. You watch out. I will speak a song into existence right fucking now if you don't, look out. I just couldn't believe it. And honestly, I rode the high for like 3 weeks. I know you're laughing. I'm not joking. I told this story so many times. I thought a lyric was in one song, so I said it. Next song it was on! It was incredible. So the moral of all this is, if words can be great and they can be bad, and you can cause things with your words, you're probably not going to cause someone to die. You're not me. I have powers. But the real moral of the story is, if you want to hear a song, just come to me. I'll misremember lyrics from a different song. The next one will be the one you want to hear. I love you guys. Thanks.
Give it up for the wizard. All right.
The wizard.
I'm pretty sure.